The people of El Paso, Texas, are the ones who gave me voice to say, hell yes, we're going to buy back every AR-15 and AK-47 in this country, to get those off the streets and out of our homes so that no one ever has to fear that again. And people will ask us, they'll say, hey, Beto, aren't you afraid that you've gone too far, that you've really pissed off the NRA this time? I'm not afraid of that. No, I'm not afraid of that. I would be afraid if I were a school teacher in a kindergarten classroom, and those kids, for whom I'd already sacrificed so much, were up against a gunman with an AR-15 because we didn't have the courage to stop him while we still had time. I would be afraid if I were the son of an immigrant who went to work early this morning and never came back, detained and deported back to a country he had not seen for 20 years. I would be afraid if I were one of those farmers here in Iowa who had seen those markets closed to me, unable to get out of debt or to pass that farm on to my daughter or to my son. I would be afraid if I was a trans woman of color who could be killed with complete impunity in this country right now with no one to follow up or investigate. I would be afraid if I had to drive 300 miles to make my own decisions about my own body, to find a safe, legal abortion or a cervical cancer screening or family planning help because we've closed down the family planning clinics in my state. I would be afraid if my sons were black and were stopped by the police in a country that has refused to ensure there's accountability for the abuse of power and the deaths of young black men who were not armed and posed no threat to this country. Then I would be afraid. But for all of those who live in fear in this country, we as Democrats must decide we will not be afraid. We as Americans must decide we will not be afraid. We must decide that we will free America from fear.